Good morning, everyone. So nice to see so many of you come today. And what a fitting day that the Mahasamadhi, we're also having a discipleship. So welcome new disciples who shall take your vow very soon. And congratulations also to the new Kriya Bonds that we had last night. And, you know, we have quite an influx of new people continuously with it. And I've heard people say, so many new people, I don't know them. But you know, the best way to get to know each other is through service and through serving together. I always found my most comfort at Ananda was when I was serving with other people. That's how I developed my friendships, and so there's like a spiritual friendship that happens when you serve together. And so actually, this is not meant to be an advertisement, but this coming Wednesday, we're having strange how that happened. This coming Wednesday is a Seva evening. Though you can come earlier if you want, but at 6 p.m. we're having Seva time together to prepare the center for Nayaswami Dhyanaji's visit. And it's actually called Seva and Pizza. So if you want a little pizza. Anyway, so we're having a discipleship, and how wonderful that we're celebrating Master's Mahasamadhi, though you can't say, I took my discipleship on Master's Mahasamadhi, but you definitely know it's near. It's less than a week past last Tuesday, so you can say, I had my discipleship around Master's Mahasamadhi and Sri Yukteswarji, who was on Thursday. And so this is it's especially a sacred time when we celebrate these holidays, if you want to call it that. That's why we had our Kriya initiation last night. And it was so deep, you can feel the vibrations still in the center today. Such a blessing through the Kriya and the Master's presences. You know, one of the things that discipleship brings, that attunement with the Guru brings, is a sense of being able to sit in the moment and feel the bliss of God in the moment. That's a big deal. Normally we're living in the past, in past hurts, in past holding on to pain, holding on to thoughts and experiences, that kind of thing. Or we're living in the future, fear of the future, fear, continuously, and just not looking forward to it. But what happens when we're meditating is it gives us the opportunity to just be in the moment. And of course we often fight the feelings in the moment when we're in meditation, fight the feelings, the thoughts that come up, those kinds of things. And in a way, in the beginning of the spiritual path, that's maybe one of the biggest challenges of meditation, is sitting, making yourself sit, and you know, trying to feel some sort of peace while you're meditating. That's the biggest challenge. And the thing to really focus on in the beginning is, how do you feel after your meditation? You need to really focus on afterwards. So you did your battle during meditation, that thought came, that thought came, that thought came. You know, that's part of meditation, is the training of the mind to let go of the thoughts that come, to just see them enter the mind and leave if you must, if you're not really feeling the presence of God in the moment. Of course, the main purpose is to feel the presence of the divine, and feel that more and more. In fact, feel it outside of meditation even. Really try and cultivate that feeling of the divine, so that After a few years, I'm hoping, this is true for people, that fight with the mind is much less. And what happens instead is you can sit in the moment and feel that joy, feel that bliss in the moment. You can let go of the past, not even think about it, and just be in the moment, feeling that peace, feeling that bliss that's there. When the mind is going like that, it means the heart is also going like that. It's usually emotions and mind are so connected. And meditation can soothe the heart and therefore soothe the thoughts so that we don't have to fight it so much. This is a path of meditation and growth through meditation. But sitting, being able to sit for 3 hours is nothing compared to being able to sit in the presence of the divine in the heart for those 3 hours. Okay, so you have the willpower to sit. I can sit. Not only that, I don't move my tongue and I don't move my lips and my eyes don't blink and, I can sit, like Patanjali said, for 3 hours without movement even. But that's not the only part of it. The rest of it is being able to feel the presence of the divine while you're sitting. What use is just sitting there without that feeling happening? We have to cultivate that love of the divine. And the nice thing about Kriya Yoga, and I'm sure just Hong saw if you haven't gone further, is it helps you have a natural evolution in your life. It helps you naturally grow in a good way. You don't have to renounce things before you feel ready. Sometimes when people are taking discipleship, they say, "Can I still believe in Krishna?" It's like, yes, of course. I can't believe you're asking that question given all the reading we've thrown at you. Am I becoming a Christian because Christ is on the altar? No. So Christ represents Christ consciousness. Hopefully that's been explained to you all by now. That's Christ Krishna consciousness, higher consciousness. Master liked the two together. Hi, how are you? You can come closer if you want and sit with one of these people. So, when we feel that Christ consciousness, that Krishna consciousness, this is precious, and so of course, all of the, if you want to call them gods and goddesses, or all the presence of the divine that manifests in so many different ways, it's all going on up there in the same way. Now, we do have a guru. That does not say we don't have the presence of God manifested in so many ways. Krishna is a manifestation of the divine, but he was an avatar, a living avatar. And Christ was also, and they both had their purposes for that time. And Master liked to have the blending of the two. This is what he said is east meets west. And so that's why the two are represented here in that way. Has nothing to do with traditional Christianity or anything like that. Nothing like that. I grew up that way. It's nothing like it. So we want to get back to the present moment. We want to be able to feel the divine, feel this path is living. I have a friend who's a very dear, close friend. And about 10 years ago, this friend left Ananda to kind of start doing something else, following someone else. And her view of things was that, if you're part of Ananda, you're a certain way, which is untrue. And that her way was also valid. And so she started telling me all the experiences she was having with this other person. And I said, I'm happy for you. I'm happy, okay, that you feel this is what needs to be. But she kept wanting to tell me it to maybe win me over. I'm not quite sure what it was. To, so what I have found is sometimes people who expand onto other paths after having taken discipleship and Kriya and everything is that they want to be validated for this new path that they're on, or they want to be, they want to not be judged. And I'm very sorry that she was feeling judged if that's the way it was. I want everyone to be happy and feel that they have found their true path. And there's one thing that you do when you're all sharing the same path is you do have similar language, and you do kind of talk about things in the way that we read about them and that kind of a thing. And when you join a different path, they have their own language. And so she was kind of saying, yes, but you're stuck in your language and I have this new language. I finally had to say, I'm happy for you, but I don't feel drawn at all to what you're following. And she took that as an insult. Like, can't you have an open mind? Why are you narrowing yourself to just this? And, this is not narrowing. This is going deeper. This is drilling deep. This is as soon as you are feeling the presence of the divine and that grows more and more and more and grows into bliss, then you are in the present moment of bliss. Is that narrow? Is that some structured path that makes you, judgmental of other people? No. What happens is, like I said, this is a path of meditation and growth. And people get bored. They get bored of meditating, or their life becomes just too restless, so they stop. And then their mind takes over. But what happens when we're meditating is the Guru works on us to get rid of the ego, to make us let go of our attachments, not before we're ready to, not now take away all your attachments right now and you're attached to this and you're attached to people, or none of that. The heart can be detached and yet you can express great love towards others. It just means you're not attached to how they do their thing. You're not attached to how they live their life or how they do things in their life. Instead, it's like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy for you. So it's different when you're a parent with a child, especially when the child becomes an adult and you still want to have that control. That's hard, isn't it? But it doesn't work very well when we want to keep that control over others. And as you meditate, it's a little easier to let go and let your children be happy. That's what I've seen in some of our people who are parents. But when they're young, of course, you're responsible for taking care of them and guiding them and everything. There's going to be that connection. That is not something you renounce or anything like that. That's Dharma. And that's the other thing, is we do our Dharma in life. Whether it's our job, we're doing our Dharma. Whether it's to our spouse or to our children, we're fulfilling our Dharma. Lahiri Mahashayaji was a great example, although they all are. But to be a man who was of God and yet also had offspring and a wife, and though I love the story that when his wife figured out what a great what a great saint he was, she was in complete shock as he decided to float up to the ceiling and and say, "Look here." She's like, "Okay, I'm your disciple actually now. I don't think I'm your wife." I'll cook for you, but I think instead I'll do Kriya Yoga and get freed in this lifetime by having you so nearby. So anyway, those are always fun stories. But think about being in the moment more. Being in the moment is what allows us to meditate longer. If you are in the moment. When you start to get restless, notice what your feelings are. Notice what your thoughts are. It might just be, I'm about to do something and I've got to, kind of prepare myself to do it. But then it takes up most of your meditation time because you're thinking about what you have to do. Or you're thinking about something nasty that happened yesterday and it just takes up your time. And so try and just be in the moment. Try and talk to the divine when you're in the moment. Try and just be in that moment and not allow the past. You're not attuned when you feel negativity and sarcasm. When you are just a downer. That is not being in the moment. You want to let those negative habits go. The longer you can hold yourself in the moment in your meditation, you're holding yourself in that, the more opportunity you get to, especially in Kriya, dig up those karmic attachments, dig them up and burn them up here. Hangsa is incredibly a high technique also. You can go into bliss in Hangsa also, just all by itself. And so the longer you can be in that moment and allow yourself, then the more you're just going to continue to grow spiritually. The hardest part is just sitting. The hardest part is just not wiggling your leg, that kind of a thing that happens. Not getting restless. That's the hardest part. But as soon as that presence of the divine comes, wow. It's like a switch turns on, and then it never goes away. You want to turn on that switch so that when you sit to meditate, the bliss comes. And then you just are sitting in that moment and you're feeling the presence of the divine in that bliss. That's what we want. It just takes patience, but a willingness to sit in the moment and to just let go. So hopefully we can all do that. And we're having the discipleship first, right? Okay. Did I read the thing? I wanted to end with reading. This is written by Master, God's Boatman, which is really the Guru's love poem to us. I want to ply my boat many times across the gulf after death and return to earth's shores from my home in heaven. I want to load my boat with those waiting, thirsty ones who are left behind and carry them by the opal pool of iridescent joy, where my Father distributes his all-desire-quenching liquid peace. Oh, I will come again and again, crossing 1,000,000 crags of suffering with bleeding feet I will come, if need be 1,000,000,000 times, as long as I know one stray brother is left behind. I want thee, O God, that I may give thee to all. I want salvation, that I may give it to all. Free me then, O God, from the bondage of the body, that I may show others how they can free themselves. I want thine everlasting happiness, only that I may share it with others, that I may show all my brothers the way to happiness forever and forever in thee. So what a blessed promise that Master is saying he will not leave one of us behind. And if we don't get freedom, then he keeps coming one way or another through others in whatever way. He's the Sat Guru. He's the vibration that comes from the divine. He's the vibration that we followed to earth Everybody has a Satguru assigned. And so that even if we don't know him for lifetimes, he is there as a vibration. We follow the vibration into the earth, and then when we finally gain freedom, we follow the vibration up and go elsewhere. But even when we die, we are following that vibration back up. So why not spend this time attuning as much as possible to that vibration so that we can have a conscious death that frees us? And it's possible. Master said all those who get Kriya Yoga should strive to be a Jivan Mukta. It's possible. He wouldn't just say that just to make someone feel good, you know. He says that because it's possible. So let's be in the moment. Let's allow that meditation time to just allow us to be in the moment for the duration of whatever meditation time we set, and force ourselves to sit. Sometimes that you have to do that. But then once you sit there, don't you want to continue? It's just that matter of sitting. I remember once before this path, I saw this spiritual teacher, and I was meditating. I didn't have a technique or anything. And he said, okay, I see you will get there, but you just need to sit. Just sit. Just sit. It was very good advice. I always think of that, you know. So we just have to get ourselves to sit, don't we? Just sit. And I currently have this sciatica thing, and so when I sit more than 4 hours, there's a problem. That's why, by the way, I can't go on the Babaji trip because of this, because we're going to America right out after that and having to sit for 34 hours to get there. So, I guess on the way there is 22, but on the way back is 34. Anyway, so I'm dealing with the issue of sitting myself. You don't want to get to that point, but just sit. That's all we have to do. Just sit. Say that to yourself. Just sit. Imagine Master is telling you, just sit. And it's like, okay. And then you finally do. As disciples, we do go through rebellious times. That's normal, And so there's always these ups and downs as disciples that happen. But Master's there every moment of the day. Master is there. Whether we're completely embarrassed about an action we just did or completely rebellious, he's there, loving us anyway. And gently trying to guide us back. Maybe you'll hear, just sit. Okay, God bless you.